Hey people of the fort, welcome to the next installment of 2 hours and 2 minutes. Today, we are looking at the first 2 hours of Ravenbound by Systemic Reaction. We got a lot to cover, so let's start. As an open-world roguelite, Ravenbound is exploring mostly uncharted waters, but at its foundation, there's something special with a lot of potential. As a vessel to the Raven, being able to fly around to a multitude of enemy encampments to gather upgrades and enhancements is a new and refreshing take on the standard methods seen in roguelites. Your character upgrades are presented to you through the use of a card and mana system. Opening chests and collecting fragments will grant you the option to pick one of 3 cards. The cards can range from a variety of different stat boosts, such as crit chance and damage, to focus and stagger. You equip the cards as relics after purchasing them with mana. This strays away from the traditional approach to upgrades in games like The Binding of Isaac or Risk of Rain 2. In addition to this, there is something called hatred in the game that builds up the more chests you open and fragments you pick up. As your hatred grows, you will hit thresholds that will lock you out of how many cards you are able to choose from. You can lock yourself out completely if your hatred gets too high, so watch out. I honestly quite like this system. You might not be able to get as overpowered as you would in other games, but it comes with a purpose. You are able to target particular encampments that have a chance to drop cards related towards the build you're going for. On top of that, each zone requires that you cleanse the area first, which grants you a few encampments that will have hatred-free chests. I recommend cleansing the area as quickly as possible so that you can hit these chests first. The game limits how powerful you can become by allowing you to manipulate the items you're getting. The limiting factor allows for a more diverse build freedom that you won't find in randomized item rooms from other games. The combat allows for a lot of utility through the use of its parry and dodge systems that reward perfect timing. However, the combat does need some improvements. Most of the upgrades you find are flat stat upgrades to your damage. This makes each playthrough stale and similar. If I could ask the developers for one improvement, it would be to add visual and enhanced combat options. Maybe a relic that gives your light attacks a chain lightning effect every 4 hits, or another one that lets your charge attacks slam down and do an AoE fire blast. These might exist in the game, but I've yet to come across any items that allow this in 4 runs. If they do exist, they need to be more accessible at the beginning of the game. These are my thoughts on Ravenbound. I plan on playing this game more, as I enjoy the thought behind it and flying around as a raven, but I hope the developers look at adding some additional excitement into the combat through the use of items, because without it, the game may become stale pretty quickly.